and they might be able to cause that upset today as well.
Let's see how close they can get, or if it's just going to be easy. Who knows? Anyway, pistol round is happening. It's live. Destroyer and Viva with some utility. Viva going for the P250 and Molly. That's a nice little combo. Haven't seen that too often. And Advent 2 flashes for the retake and a kit.
Flying literally didn't buy anything either, so he's got $800 in the bank. Interesting strategy for Invictus. He's gone all the way back to spawn and grabbed himself some armor. So
okay, slow start.
He's picked up on that one pretty quickly, at least. The smoke's going to go through for jungle. Oh no, it's actually going to be for the connector. But Orman's peeking over it, tapping away. He's done a lot of damage, actually, to Viva. Invictus are trying to close the gap with those Glocks and get the bomb down pretty quickly. But first blood has been drawn by ViCi, and second blood probably as well. Orman, he's let Bottle survive on 3 HP. He's lost his life. It's 3 on 3. Advent's got 2 flashbangs instead of a smoke, which is interesting. Still has that defuse kit, and Zoking runs straight into connector, takes a 1v1, loses that, but Jam Young covering here for Advent. Still 2 flashes in the back pocket, but not required, and ViCi will win the pistol round. Jam Young gets a 3k.
Not even that, just Advent keeping both those flashes alive. So not even needing that utility to make the retake a successful one, and ViCi take the first round with open arms. Invictus, do they buy up off the plant? No, looks like it's just a couple of upgraded pistols. Try to get some extra damage to ViCi's economy and look to buy into round number 3. But ViCi, can they fend off these deagles? Little P250 and armor for flying as well. As we do see Invictus looking to wait for any mid-aggression. Good placement on that nade. Destroyer down to 28 already.
Yeah, not much of an investment from Invictus here, but they've mostly grouped up over toward the B bomb site, so not expected to see too many fireworks over there on A, and Xiao Saga will decide to give up or relinquish some of the control over there pretty quickly. Not a whole lot to really write home about here for Invictus, but they are looking to take control of mid. Seems like they'll be able to do so pretty comfortably.
Ooh, smoke at the bottom of con may just slow them for the moment. ViCi happy to play some deep angles. The only person playing close would be Zoking, but still very good point of information as long as there's some cover towards con. And there's not. So an opening, a hole for Invictus to maneuver through. Let's see if it works out. Smoke towards a main. Zoking posts to Pal, spots the bomb as well, and now that should trigger the rotations.
Well, it's not going to matter too much here for ViCi by the looks of things. They've got fairly stoic defense, never mind. Flying Deagle! What? What is that? Invictus, they're going to get the bomb down, maybe at the cost of their life. The Molotov, not enough to kill Destroyer, but Orman's MP9 is, and Flying...
He still gets a headshot.
Didn't really have anywhere else to go, but man, ViCi kind of lucky it feels like to get through that round now.
And that's exactly what Invictus needed. They got the bomb plant, they got 4 kills, they didn't even buy up into the round other than some deagles, P250, and no armor for most. So Flying with 4 kills, doing it all himself, and that's exactly what I was talking about in the pre-match rather, is we need to see him bring the entertainment, bring some great gameplay. And that's exactly what he tried to do now as we head into round number 3. The question is, ViCi, can they put another on with a lackluster buy because they just lost 4 weapons?
Conham is definitely worse off compared to Invictus right now, who've got everything that they need, full set of utility. They're going straight out to the A ramp side of things. Looks like they're just dropping a bit of utility just to fake out mid. Kaze really just by himself at this stage, as ViCi have actually stacked majority of their members. They have to play the A-side retake. No other way.
Bomb plant's going to go down. This is going to cost Viva a fair chunk of his HP down to 28, but I think he'll take that. Kaze with only a scout, 2 for Masters for the retake. At least there's a lot of util for ViCi. And we're waiting for Advent to make this rotation in T-Spawn before a whole lot of action really does happen. In fact, Invictus, they've decided that they want to push the issue. Orman hasn't run out of bullets yet. Xiao Saga, he thought he might be on reload, I dare say, but that is not going to work out in his favor. Still, Invictus, they've got the numbers. Great turnaround from Destroyer. Jam Young's getting some work done, but it feels too late And Invictus will find their first round. What a crazy fight that was.
Very all over the place sort of round, all things considered. Jamyoung and Kaze will survive just barely at the end. Everyone quite low, but Invictus take their first round before it gets too late. And ViCi, look, that economy was already in a bad situation. Now it's even worse.
Might have to force up behind everything over here at this stage. I mean, pretty interesting sends through smokes as well as certain positions as well. I feel like Advent just took a little bit too long, and that's exactly why he had to try to make a bit of a move on. And unfortunately, making noise at this stage, Destroyer just kind of swivels around, just sprays down the Galil right at his face. Early tack pause, though, coming out from Invictus. Probably just looking to tighten things up on that 5-on-5. But it's good to see, actually, Viva just commit to the plan, even though he tanks so much damage. Just allows you to actually have that extra time to work with the smoke cover. You're committing to it, which is good to see. It was an open plan at that stage, so pretty selfless act. He's not doing too well on the scoreboard so far, but that tack has now become a tech by the looks of it.
Okay, so let's see if this one gets sorted. Someone has to quickly reconnect to the look of it. One of the Invictus gamers. Unfortunate, considering this is exactly what happened in the Oceanic game. You know, 3 rounds in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit more standard when it comes to Chinese Counter-Strike to have these kinds of pauses. There's all sorts of VPNs involved where they're trying to connect to certain servers with the best ping and what have you. It's never easy. And then they have to connect to Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever on a different VPN and blah, blah, blah. But they seem to make it work somehow.
God bless him.
The only remaining member of the team remaining from Victus's first ever game is Spinach, who was the coach.
There you go.
Healthy.
He's been around the block. Now, round 4. Invictus, can they double down? They certainly should, but you know, it's Chinese Counter-Strike and these pistols could be dangerous.
Well, I tend to fancy Zoking with that 5.7. Seen a lot of magic from him with that.
It's either a 3K or just 20 bullets of whiffing.
Yes, well.
Never anything in between.
Looks like Jamyoung's going to be posted on B, mostly solo. Kaze's having a bit of a peek into mid, so he can render some assistance. But only if Jamyoung can slow Invictus down. It's been a pretty good game so far from Jamyoung, 5-1, especially considering in that last round he had to play the rotator role coming across to A. Got the double kill, but a bit too late. So he's been doing well for himself, and that tends to be sometimes a bit of a win condition for ViCi, if Jamyoung can put them on his shoulders.
Very slow round coming out from Invictus as they're just looking to see if they can draw any utility coming out from the CTs, see if they can identify any of these positions as well. Advert, I think, has just spotted out 1 and unders. The CT's trying to hold on to this utility as long as possible, and Kaze waiting for the turn of the head, but he misses the timing of the shot, and Flying's going to punish it. Of course, it's Flying who's honestly off to a red-hot start so far, as now the collapse is going to begin. Flying's just entering on absolutely everything right now. And Crisis, you could say, averted for Invictus off the back of some good play, some good discipline.
Yeah, I guess ViCi, if they can take that or that M4 away for Orman, might be okay with how this has proceeded. A few pieces of armor to hang on to as well. I feel like this has been a pretty slow start to Mirage. There was that one big round where the retake sort of happened on the A-bomb site, or the attempted retake, I should say. But aside from that, things have been progressing at a steady pace.
And money's starting to slowly and steadily build up for Invictus.
Oh yeah, 5 alive.
Can't say the
Couldn't
same
ask
for ViCi.
for more. Exactly, ViCi all over the place at the moment in terms of their investments. The round after this next following round should be a good place to buy. So let's see how they navigate the pistols. They are going to go for a stack, and where do they send this M4A4? Because that will have heavy impact in the round if placed in the appropriate position. Looks like it's going to be under balcony, hoping for a faster approach from Invictus over towards the A site. However, looks like that bomb is in the back of apartments. Double set up in PAL for Invictus. Looking to maybe just make a bit of noise before sending it all the way back to B.
Well, Jam Young just going to jump spot into apartments. He's spotted only the one player, that's Destroyer. The other two sitting back, watching the stairs, watching mid. Any funny business from ViCi would be caught, unless it was Orman pushing through T-spawn. But he's not going to opt to do so.
So, late mid control comes out for Invictus instead. Bomb going in this direction, straight up catwalk. And it might end up being a bit of a B split with Destroyer controlling kitchen still. After the presence shown there earlier. Zhao starting to make his rotation in through T-spawn as well, so this seems to be the strat. 40 seconds as Destroyer's spotted on the jump peak. Up short they come. And Invictus have the advantage in terms of range. They just need to hit these shots now.
They don't know where Zoking is.
They're starting to chip them up. And as you mentioned, Zoking in the corner manages to find the first kill of the round. So ViCi are going to get their hands on an AK as well.
It's gone all wrong, hasn't it? Zoking finally gets dispatched off. Destroyer doing the dirty work, but Jam Young, even with the USP, oh wow, Xiao. He gets a double, but Orman drops the bomb and there's 18 seconds. Xiao's going to have to move quickly. Orman wins it for ViCi.
Wow.
All it took was an M4 and a 5-7. Bit of a USP tap in there from Jam Young as well, and that's that. ViCi somehow win the round. They didn't check the corner. They didn't expect that many players on the B bomb site. There was already 2 or 3 spotted. And that one kill from the 5-7, the straw that broke the camel's back for Invictus Gaming. And ViCi get a bit of extra breathing room here into round number 6.
Well, I said it. The M4 had to have some impact, and impact it had. 3 kills, big kills indeed, and Kaze continuing the devastation. Big pick with the AWP straight towards the top of mid, put ViCi in the man advantage situation.
Yeah, Kaze going to be an important factor in this matchup today, particularly looking at the maps that we had. Mirage and then Train. And you certainly don't want him to go missing on the CT side of either of those 2 maps. T side, we do tend to see ViCi leaning a little bit more onto the 5-rifle setup. Kaze a very good rifler as well. But if he really gets going with that AWP on the CT side, it's going to make life quite a bit of a headache for Invictus. And already doing so. Viva out of the picture, yet to find himself a frag in these first 6 rounds.
Invictus looking like they want to complete an A split over here. Got that player up in Windows. Silent boost coming up. So, Bottle, although his presence hasn't been really compromised just yet, there is a man that's going to be tasked with watching over this, which is going to be Advent. He's made a few shots over here, and Bottle actually wins that critical engagement. This stops the rotations very easily for the CTs on the B site, and now it all comes down to timing at this moment. Kaze, though, always so good with the timing. But Xiaosaga just a little bit too good as well. He's been very instrumental in getting a couple of these double kills. Resetting it to the 2-on-2.
Solid situation to be in for Invictus in this post-plant. Zhao still with so much utility to play with. Let's see if he needs to. Destroyer trying to be first point of contact. But if Orman goes through and manages to separate the 2, he could have the timing, but Zhao is very fortunate to be jumping into that line. Orman looks away, and Zhao will do it all himself. 4 kills in the round, and that is going to be 3 for Invictus, keeping it close.
Must not have heard him somehow in CT spawn, or heard him a little bit too late. I thought that was a free kill for Orman for sure. Not to mention, he also had a molly that he could have thrown into Firebox, and it's those little things for ViCi that just don't go their way this time. Great shots from Xiao, though. And a good win for Invictus sets ViCi right back. Kaze gets an AWP at least, but not a lot of money left.
I mean, I don't think there was much money left for ViCi, in all honesty. Whereas for Invictus, it's just round victory after round victory when it comes to an important stage. You know, it was flying at the initial parts with the entries, damaging the economy, then getting the entries required. Then Xiaosaga just with really, honestly, just really good ability to kind of find the the mid engagements during the engagement. I don't know how to explain it. Like when all the action is happening, he manages to find the perfect timing into getting into a position where he can actually get 1 or 2 very quick kills. He makes it look so easy. He's shooting at the side of people, but to find that timing is so tricky to do so.
Well, Kaze's going to have a big round here. AWP in hand already gets himself set on the line into mid, but no targets presenting themselves until the smoke blooms. Although he does manage to find flying as he jumps. I think he actually jumped up into ladder room and had a peek from short, so that's a good start for ViCi, exactly what they need. I mean, I feel like ViCi has actually been struggling through a lot of these rounds so far on the CT side at the start of this half. But they're still at a 3-3 scoreline, and it's because of moments like that where Kaze can open things up, or Orman can win a 1-on-3, 1-on-2 kind of a clutch. So it's not, I'd say it's not confident yet from ViCi, but they're getting through the rounds at least.
But you can say the same for Invictus. It's
Oh,
like,
for sure.
how many rounds have they been down on a 4 and 5? They're still winning these rounds.
I mean, the difference is, though, that Invictus is the underdog here.
Correct.
You know, so ViCi's kind of the expected winner, and you expect more from them.
Well, let's see. We can expect them to win this round just with the pistols at close range. The trap has been set, 4 players here. A whole lot of information being found by Jamyoung as he walks the whole way through apps into T-spawn. And ViCi have Invictus' number. ZoKing kicks off the festivities to find yet another destroyer hits back, but ZoKing one better, gets his hands on the AK, and it's all downhill for Invictus as they try to make their way out A main. Viva going to be stuck in the corner here at Mario, and he can't connect. It's Orman on the flank to have some more impact, and a big round for ViCi to win.
ZoKing and a 5-7, name a better duo. I don't think you can. He's been putting in work with that weapon. By the way, I'm pretty sure Bottle got team flash there by Xiao, so that made life a bit easier for ZoKing. Very, very sharp stuff, though, to be able to pick that AK up, turn swinging around and deal with that second player who was trying to trade him as well.
That was a tight line to actually get team flashed on, so it was very unlucky. Trying to peek there from Pal. Now, let's see where Invictus head as they do go towards the back of apartments. Looks like it's unders.
Surely that smoke was not intentional.
Which one?
The one that was just thrown by, I think it was Jamyoung, who's got the AWP from Connector. He threw the smoke and it looked like it was meant to land. The bottle's burning. And Jamyoung, Jamyoung swinging out with the Deagle.
He's confident.
Yeah.
Takes that duel as well and wins it. In the meanwhile, Viva's making some inroads over toward the A bomb site. He gets the kill into the player at Connector, or rather on stairs. Lang's also still hanging around in mid, and I don't know that ViCi will be expecting that, but now Orman's got the info, so Advent's going to go scurrying away through the murder hole and just gets out alive. Kaze misses the shot, and Flying continues to put in work with the Deagle. Viva's turn doesn't offer as much resistance. 5-3. ViCi get themselves another round, and this one a bit better with 3 guns alive, but it's still not enough to really build that money up a whole lot on the CT side.
Nasty shots initially. And almost got that second. Are we talking about the underpass smoke?
Yeah, because that's
intentional.
Because it didn't look intentional. I'll tell you, like, the angling didn't, unless he was, like, throwing it in a particular way. But
You're right.
why would you throw the underpass smoke that early?
They used it as a bait.
Oh, no!
Oh, okay. Anyway, fast around towards mid. There's going to be 2 quick ones for Orman over the top as he makes the short jump. Viva hits back as ZoKing as well. Makes this one look good for ViCi to close things out. Viva and Xiao need to try to fight back, but I don't know if they're going to be able to.
You know, I really get the feeling that ViCi's just gotten onto another level in the last couple of rounds. They have demolished Invictus in the last 3. It was looking so close, but now, I mean, did you see that push all the way around through T-Apps in the end? Now, Orman gets this double as they're coming through the smoke. Then he gets another one. I mean, it's just unreasonable. And then there's a player still wrapping the back of mid after all of this. ViCi's disrespecting Invictus now.
Well, it was just the perfect position for Orman to be in as Invictus sent 4 players rapidly over towards that connector area. But could barely make it. 2 players already, getting the heads hunted off on the way. But it is a new round, and it looks like we are going to see Invictus go for a slower approach this time. More spread out as well, just essentially defaulting, looking for picks. Hoping that ViCi walks into their crosshairs.
Only reason why I don't think this is as much of a default is because Bottle's actually in the B apps area over here. Normally that's Destroyer's role from what we've seen in the last couple of rounds. So the fact that he's over here at this moment, maybe Invictus just come in kind of just spreading out and just seeing what they can kind of do this round. Only a single smoke grenade to work with as well. There's no overarching strategy to maybe come out of Palace together just yet because there's no flashbangs to allow them out. Really interesting stuff. They are going to be grouping back to A on the back of a single smoke, but
Zoking's in a good spot to deal with this, and he has Kaze watching the line as well, so it's a good crossfire setup. We even have Advent keeping an eye on the murder hole. He's going to spot Bottle Jr. out, sees him headed in the direction of A. We'll call that for his teammates, and so Kaze and Zoking well prepared for the push. A double for Zoking is all that he'll manage, and Kaze chimed in with one as well, so it's not a dire position for ViCi to be in, but Invictus have got a little bit of damage done in what was a round that they didn't invest a whole lot into. Trouble is, getting across with no smokes, not an easy task. And Orman's looking pretty good today. One thing that I do want to point out for ViCi is that Orman's level has increased substantially late in 2020. In, you know, February, March, April, I was probably one of his biggest detractors when it came to people who regularly talk about Asian Counter-Strike. And I think I'm starting to become a bit more of a fan now. You know, the last couple of tournaments I've seen him play in, I think his level's really increased, and he's justifying his position in this ViCi roster a lot more than what he used to. You know, he used to be there with Advent at 1 and 5 at this point, and it was like Jamyoung and Kaze sitting at unbelievable numbers, still not being able to carry these games. But he's been turning up, and even in big games as well. You know, it's not even just games like this against Invictus where he's getting scorelines like this. It's in some grand finals against Tyloo. So I do want to give credit to Orman, you know, for the improvement that he's made in 2020.
I'm still just waiting for that Zoking second half Galil-a-thon, because the man is so good with it. He always just gets those spray downs, hitting crazy shots through smokes, and I want to see more of that today.
I would like
Mirage.
to see an AK instead in its hands. Thank you very much.
Hey, no, you've missed it. You've missed all the fun, all the action. Zoking with a Galil, it's a thing.
I would like to say that hopefully it will not be a permanent thing, and I was just hoping that it was in...
God, you are such a Galil hater, Kev. Literally, no, you can't say that word around you. It's like insta-trigger.
It is, because I've looked at my buys before, like when I can actually buy and I'm like, do I get a Galil here or an SMG? I'll get an SMG, even though it means that I might die with it, because the Galil is just that bad.
It's not. It's really not that bad.
It's terrible.
It's not that bad. It's a great weapon.
How many kills do you have on it?
Lots, actually. I've used it heaps since the buff.
And would you use it more compared to the AK, or would you still use...
Well, that's not a fair argument.
Depends on the money you have.
AK's the best gun in the game.
If I have a Galil, I'm not going to upgrade. Anyway, it's going to be a bit of a fake over towards A. Flash out over Pal, which tries to draw some attention. Destroyer looking to make some space off the back of it. Solo at A main as the rest of the boys start to make their way up Con. It is going to be a flood at the moment. Three-pronged attack. But ViCi also have 3 players here to hold as well. Starting strong, Zoking with that M4 holds well and swings wide. Well, to a very, very blind Destroyer. What a hold. 3 kills for Zoking. And Kaze Advent as well. So ViCi reading that execute like a book and being in the perfect positions to deal with it.
It's just good utility actually coming out from ViCi as well. Zoking here should have been traded out by the player at Tetris, but you can see it's like the flashbang comes forward from Kaze at the perfect time, and the crossfire is just set up here where there's absolutely nothing that you can do as Invictus. It was like a... Honestly, Invictus were in a superior position. They were coming in from all 3 different angles. They were looking really nice, in a really good position to actually trade each other out. But the problem is a couple of smoke grenades and flashbangs without undoing. So ViCi really racing ahead to a lead at this stage. Invictus kind of as a Hail Mary, going to be testing out Jamyoung a little bit here. But Jamyoung just wide swings and takes that duel.
Sort of feels like that's where we're at for ViCi now, kind of at a point where they're confident enough to wide swing and just take duels. Zoking obviously substantially helped out by the flashes on that hold on the A bomb site last round, but even he seems to be hitting some pretty unreasonable shots. Same for Orman. It's all coming together right now on the CT side for ViCi, and this is a fairly rude awakening for Invictus, you know. They had that 16-0 loss on Vertigo to ViCi last time they played, and then They came back and, you know, got 14 rounds in the second map. They weren't able to win it. It was a 2-0 for ViCi. But, you know, I think this is, again, is just ViCi kind of reinforcing their dominance over the entire Asian region, with the exception being Tyloo. It is kind of hard to say how much of a lead they have over everyone else when, you know, it is always this storyline of ViCi versus Tyloo that we talk about. You know, I feel like that's kind of... It's kind of been the main storyline for ViCi. I'm not sure exactly. Characterized, I think that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's really characterized ViCi's 2020 is that matchup with Tyloo, but we have failed at many times to mention just how much better they are actually compared to the rest of the Asian region, you know?
Yeah.
There is very much a number one, but there is quite clearly also a number two that is leagues ahead of the rest.
And so it always comes back down to the case of if ViCi were able to take a few rounds here and there, as Kaze said, if they made less minor errors, for example, in some of those rounds, where we would really be at in terms of everything. All right, so nice couple of flashbangs. Orman is going to be caught out in the open,
It is
though.
so blind.
Counter utility, much better from Invictus this time around, just Destroyer.
Timing on that peak, interesting for Jamyoung. I wonder if he spotted Destroyer.
Might have spotted the shoulder, but they've just lost too many members over here. Flying's done really well in the entry so far this round. Viva's finally chipping in with the AWP as well. And Zoking just in an unsustainable position at the moment. I mean, all of them kind of in an unsustainable position. Shadow's been spotted as well for Jamyoung. Clean round from Invictus. A bit of a change-up, so to speak.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one there from ViCi. I am prepared to write that off, depending on the results of this coming round.
I don't know if you spotted it either, but I was watching Advent at the start of the round, and he threw a very cool smoke, which is the one that is spotted, popped there rather, at the end of Cat. So if someone makes the short jump, it's a perfect one-way. And he throws that from spawn, bounces off, I think, short and then down, and it's just a pretty cool lineup.
It would be great to have the skybox available, but Pilsey's not here. Could have had a look back at that one. But anyway, hopefully that's something we're going to have a look at tomorrow. Zoking been very good here on the A-bomb site and is asked of once again Destroyer. He had an 8 in hand. Zoking, how have you lost that one? That was a Zoking moment for sure.
What was it? Invictus investing so much utility on that execute as well. There was 3 smokes and about 7 flashes coming, raining over the top of A main. And ViCi still thinking about going for this one, knowing that there's a lot of damage done to at least Destroyer. I don't know if they spotted Viva or not, or if they know that he's low, but Jamyoung, they've got the lead, and he's going to try to find something on the re-entry. Does have Kaze behind him to try to trade. Oh, might have spotted the barrel, but he's found the head of Viva as well.
Oh, he's so good.
It's Orman actually finishing off Zhao, coming in from stairs. Oh, what a shot to Destroyer! Ridiculous flicks, and now it's up to Kaze to try to clutch it out, flying another one as Bottle closes it for Invictus, but ViCi making that one look almost achievable.
Yeah, then Flying comes in and kind of shuts that down. Nice little flick coming out from Orman. Destroyer, though, was on 17, so still not an easy task to do with the M4. What was more impressive to me, though, was definitely the shot coming out from Flying through the smoke, pretty much. Just one-tap someone through that.
I don't know what to say about that. It has been a nice resurgence, though, from Invictus. If they can get to 6, then you can say, well, this first half hasn't really been that bad at all. 10, though, for Invictus, letting that one slip over to ViCi. Double digits, I always feel a little bit hesitant after seeing that. And to be fair, it's a pretty decent buy for ViCi. They've actually gone into the double AWP. Jamyoung taking the secondary AWP away for the CT side. Not
I'd
something
be
you see every day.
a little worried for ViCi, but in what we've seen recently, their T side has been a lot stronger than before. When they had that terrible win rate on Mirage, that was when their T side was really bad. Yeah, they have solid CT sides, but now they seem to have figured it out. So let's see how they do today, because everyone's really having a good game for ViCi.
Everyone that matters.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Oh my. Who doesn't matter, hey? Oh,
Advent.
nice. Well, he said it. Anyway, moving on.
You wouldn't
50
say that to
seconds.
his face at LAN, mate.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that he doesn't bring something to the team. I'm just saying he doesn't need to frag, in that he doesn't matter. It's the other 4 players that matter when it comes to the fragging department. If Advent's 1 and 5 after the first 6 or 7 rounds, that's fine. I don't care. But if Jamyoung is 1 and 5, then I've got problems. Kaze is 1 and 5, then I've got problems. But as you can see, it's not the case.
Nice little popper over the top there, Zo King. Gets a bit of damage on the bottle. They know his position as well. Kaze sharp as nails onto Zhao, and this should be that. Bottle goes down 5 alive at the end of the half for ViCi with the 10-5 scoreline. Let's see how they do in the second. But before we get there, ladies and gents, it's time for a short break. See you on the other side.
Spills your blood, a whisper down fills your head, but you have to fight again. So take one step, take another, find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry, with your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry.
Definitely an enticing first half between ViCi Gaming and Invictus Gaming as we head into the second here on Mirage. It's the first map in the Chinese derby for IEM Beijing. Hometown, I guess, for both of these two teams. But unfortunately, we're playing online, not on LAN. But either way, some good Counter-Strike being put in, I'd say mostly from ViCi. Saw a little bit of hope for Invictus, a couple of rounds being strung together towards the end of the half, but ViCi far and away looking like the better team. See what they can do on the T side. Mac, you were talking about their T side prowess of late, looking a little bit better for ViCi on Mirage, and I'm hoping to see much of the same. Here we go into the pistol, 1-for-1 trade.
On the way in, and it's looking okay in terms of control of the site. Invictus, however, grouping up 3 men over towards that CT position, looking to flood in at any given moment. 3 flashes to try and create some space, as it looks like Zhao has gone down over towards mid as well, so flying comes across the top, and He's in a good position to at least tap this bomb. There is one kit on Viva who's going to be doing the honors, but let's see how the cover goes because there's only Flying with that armor trying to lead by example. Tap goes down as Kaze tries to commit to the fights here. 3 men swinging, flying, watching a main, but he does swing around in time. So 2-on-1 has an opportunity. He knows Kaze is going to be stuck in the corner, and Kaze does not need to peek until the tap comes through, but he's going to run across anyway. And there it is. That should be the round. Time's ticked down just long enough, and ViCi will start the second half strong.
I'll say no armor there as well. That's a really nice strategy coming out from ViCi, in all honesty. Molotov into window from top mid to keep it safe. Smoke on short so you get all this connector control, as well as the smoke onto CT spawn at the same time with a couple of, I would say, flashbangs coming forward as well to allow ViCi to gain control of that site and have an open plant. Absolutely crucial you have that smoke at short, otherwise that short play could deny the open plant. And all that control, obviously, over at jungle means that you, well, can't get flooded by CTs from that angle. I really like that pistol approach coming out from ViCi. Unfortunately, Invictus couldn't hit too many shots at the end of the day. And it is going to just be an eco coming out from them.
It is indeed. Flying's got a little bit to play with.
Bit of an interesting stack actually coming out from Invictus at this stage. 2 people on ladder.
It doesn't look like it's going to have that much of an impact on the round because ViCi is making their way into mid. I suppose they can swing to challenge once they start to work their way up connector, but maybe ViCi's just going to be a little bit too quick, or maybe not! Destroyer and Viva, 2 kills with the USPs. Kaze, though, locks it down, trades it out, and the bomb was in T-spawn, which has now made its way to A-bomb site. Orman gets that on the floor. It's worked out okay for ViCi. It's worked out okay for Invictus as well. They've upgraded a couple of guns.
Definitely winnable for, I was about to say, for Invictus, if they just slowed things down for a little bit. No need for Destroyer to take that fight. Flying still has the kit, so they got plenty of time to work with, but Orman steps up with the Galil.
They don't know about Orman with the Galil, Kev. I don't think you know about Orman with the Galil, but I actually really rate him with it. I know you hate the Galil, and I know Matt was talking about Zoking with the weapon, but I actually reckon Orman's the man with the Galil.
Kaze's so switched on. Just realizes the timing and the danger as well. What was a very critical moment, in all honesty, for ViCi, where at one stage they lost 2 people over at Connector and almost looked like it was going to be untradeable with 2 players in Connector and Kaze over at top mid. Invictus overextend a little bit at Catwalk. Kaze punishes 2 of them and gets out alive and gets the information and forces the reset accordingly from there into a bit of a 3-on-3 where ViCi could play the A site with a bit more utility, with a bit more weapons, of course. Looks still good damage done.
Yeah, so Galil also going to go over to Jamyoung and Zoking. Orman picks himself up an AK, which I think is fair enough. Again, I would say I think Orman is really damn good with the Galil, but the way that he's fragging at the moment, definitely put an AK in his hands. Got mid control already established for ViCi in this round. Extremities being probed by Orman and Jamyoung. This needs to be a trade back though, and it's not. So 2-player advantage for Invictus. That said, the map control is still looking pretty good for ViCi. Having Kaze in this jungle position just opens up the A-bomb site so much.
And the vent hasn't broken either, so they'll be able to get an open plant down pretty easily. You can see Zoking actually just completely going for it. Kaze's covering it off. Spray relatively misses the mark, and Zoking's going to respond in favor. He just goes, no, Destroyer here, I'll show you how to do it. Just bangs him out.
That's
Molotov deep as well, and Zoking's just
God.
swinging in. And Flying, he's trying to do his best to return the favor, but you can see Zoking's just on another one at the moment. He's taking every single engagement, almost on the ace.
That was
Doesn't need a
crazy.
Galil. That was just peak Zoking.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Zoking.
Peak Zoking peaking. Don't mind a bit of that.
Yeah, this map seems like it might be disappearing pretty quickly now, Kev. D-side rolling along quite nicely for ViCi indeed. That'll be 13 up for them, only 5 for Invictus. And I mean, I don't disagree with the map choice for Invictus. That's the crazy thing. I feel like this was one of the better maps that they could have got against ViCi, but ViCi's looking good here in Beijing. And that result in Pal fall, I almost want to say, like, you know, maybe now it's time for ViCi to start making some amends for what's been happening in 2020.
Looked like it was going to be a bit of a fast A-take just then from ViCi. They've dumped a lot of utility, but actually a lot of their players are backing out right now. They've lost palace control. They didn't really have A-ramp control. And they decided to head all the way back to B, where Orman's actually leapt out. He's taken chair and made into a little bit of a campsite. As it's just a pretty regulation round. I mean, it was a bit of a promising first half, then ViCi decided to step on the gas pedal, and they've really just kicked it up another notch. I have to say, though,
Yeah, like
how do I say it? It's like old ViCi wouldn't have called off that A-side execute, right? Like Jamia goes out of Palace, and then they throw a bit of utility. Old ViCi would have been like, let's just go in anyway. New ViCi is just like, maybe there is something that we are walking into and we should probably double think about it. And then Orman just goes to the other side and just takes a bomb site free of charge. And you can say, sure, Invictus were pistols, but we've seen how deadly some of them can be on Deagles.
Well, here we go again. Invictus have got themselves a good buy. Or for the first time in the second half for Viva.
And they're going straight to A.
Yeah, it'll be a full execute out this time from ViCi. They're not leaving anything on the table. 3 smokes, 2 Molotovs, and however many flashbangs that was. Too many for Invictus to deal with. And ViCi's into the site. Oh, Zoking. Luckily for him, Bottle gets flashed. What is Advent doing? He wants to plant the bomb. No, he wants to go through the smoke. Oh, it's a master
He
stroke.
gets Viva instead.
He got Viva. Bomb plant's going down. Zoking won't lose that duel. And all of a sudden, Flying is on his own.
Don't know if it's a master stroke or if it's a case of the supportive flashbangs are so good. I think there's also one real big thing that I want to talk about ViCi as well. It's like the person you think that gets the most flash assists is actually not Advent. I feel like a lot of the time it's actually Kaze. Which to me is insane because Kaze is just a phenomenal player. He's one of the, I would say he's actually one of the best all-round players in Asia.
Yeah, I mean, it's
hands down.
I think a lot of that though is to do with the fact that Advent is oftentimes the entry player. A couple of nice picks there from Flying. Not going to matter.
It's inconsequential at the stage. It's
Yeah.
15-5. That round was lost. I mean, it's going on to match point.
But
right?
yeah, on that point, you know, traditionally you would think, okay, IGL, Advent, especially with the reputation that he has as one of the big IGLs in the region, you'd think he'd be the guy sitting at the back throwing those flashes. But I think the way that ViCi have actually been using him lately is as more of an entry kind of a player on this T side. And not even necessarily always the bomb carrier, though he does do that a lot. And I kind of like that, you know, even if he doesn't find a frag, a lot of the time he's finding where that player is. He's traded down by the really strong fraggers on this ViCi roster. And when he does get a frag, it's just like, okay, well, now we've pretty much won the round. So,
Leading from the front, leading by example.
you know, he's 5-11, but
Leading by example, 5-11.
Yeah, come on,
kinda
boys,
what he
this
needs
is
to
what we
do.
do. I'll run out, follow me.
yeah, exactly. And then there's no pressure really on him either to frag. It's like, well, okay, he was the entry fragger anyway, so whatever.
I mean, but he, like, even just then, like, what he did in terms of, like, pushing like that. I mean, talking about pushes as well, Flying is getting very aggressive in the back of this B-amp smoke. Is a lot of the time the way that Advent jumps through something is to buy space for someone, right?
Correct,
Like,
yeah.
just then, it was just to buy space for Orman to come across. And you can't shoot at someone that's trying to, like, fang his way through smoke while shooting someone that's coming over stairs at the same time. It's really just putting, oftentimes, Invictus in a bit of an untenable crossfire. And
He's the guy that is going to do the bit trolls, right? He's going to take those shitty situations that you just have to, you know, someone has to do something, and he'll be the guy that will take that bullet for the team, is more or less, I think, what you're saying.
Well, let's see if Zoking takes one for the team, just manages to get straight through the crossfire of Invictus,
Wow.
and Viva can't do anything more. Scraps Jiao jumps through the smoke as well to try to make anything work, and he's not going to find a thing with the MP9. So it's up to Flying, and that is the game. ViCi 16-5